Well, Stuart, team news has obviously been one of the big talking points in recent weeks. I think it's probably a good opportunity before we head to Bradford tomorrow to try and put a bit of a squad update together out there for the fans. David McGoldrick's been a notable absentee over the last few weeks, ever since he took the crunching challenge here at Meadow Lane. What's the latest on him?
Yeah, he's back on the grass with us now. He's getting closer, so he trained again today, so he's one that we just have to assess tomorrow morning and see where he's at with it.
So unlikely to be too much longer, even if tomorrow comes too soon?
Yeah, definitely. Look, he's so close now. We've just got to make sure that we don't want him breaking down, because obviously he's a big player for us and he's been a big miss in the last few weeks with his creativity and his goals in the final third.
Speaking of big misses in that forward third of the pitch, Kedvin Scott has been making steady progress from his recovery from injury. What's the latest?
Yeah, look, we're really looking forward to work with Keds. He's one that he's buzzy. He brings a great atmosphere about the training ground and that, and he's really close as well. He's back on the grass. He's getting closer and closer now. We just got to make sure that we introduce him back into the squad at the right time.
What will be the agenda for him over the next week or so? Is it all about him getting up to speed with first team training and then being able to step into the squad?
Definitely. Look, it's about him getting that full week behind him with that full intensity within training with the lads, and then making sure that he doesn't break down, because he's been out a while and he's so big to us as a football club, not just for this season but moving forward as well. So yeah, look, we just got to make sure that we get him right and make sure that he's fresh and he's ready to go.
So all being well, potentially in the next fortnight or so we might see him in the squad?
Yeah, I'd like to think so, and I'll be delighted if we can.
Absolutely. Adam Chickston had to withdraw from the squad late on Saturday, hence why there were two goalkeepers on the bench. What's the latest with Chicks?
Look, he was 50-50. He'd been out for quite a while, and he'd come back and he's played a lot of minutes. And with the travel to Crawley and then obviously to Aki, he's just a bit fatigued within his hamstring. It's not a pull. We feel that we've caught it. The medical team have caught it early enough. So we're hoping that within the back end of the week he should be back in full training, hopefully.
Alassane Jatta obviously scored and marked his first start with an assist as well at Accrington. He did come off fairly early. What's the latest with him?
He had a knock on his ankle. He had to come off. It was a knock but a little roll, but he's come through training fine today. So yeah, he's free for selection.
Good. Richard Brindley, we've not seen him for a while.
He's getting closer. He's same again. He trained fully today with us, so we'll assess him tomorrow morning again to see whether he'll be involved in the squad. But yeah, he's pretty much there now, which is really good news.
You alluded to it post-match at Accrington that there are a lot of players who've played a lot of minutes recently. Jim O'Brien springs to mind immediately. He's come in the last few games and been a fantastic performer for us. But I'd imagine his minutes are going to have to be monitored and managed over the coming weeks as well.
No, definitely. Look, I talked about it, I think it was a week or so ago or 2 weeks ago, about rotating the squad, and we've got to make sure that we use the minutes really well now, because we come into the Easter period where we have to play on a Friday and a Monday. We've got to make sure that we try and restrict the chance of people getting injured, but also making sure that we're fresh and we can play at the intensity that we want to play at. But Jim's been absolutely outstanding. There's a lot of the lads that have got through the minutes, Bozzy as well, that has come back in, and he was excellent on Saturday.
Got to ask you about Sammy Austin. Obviously, I think he's played just about as many games as anybody in the squad, but most of them off the bench. But he's really seized his opportunity to start in the last couple of games, hasn't he?
Oh, I think he's been outstanding. And Sammy was one before we come into the football club that we from afar you really admire him, everything he does. He's a real team player. Everything he does off the ball, that is the unselfish running in behind, that you don't often see sometimes as fans or as people watching the game, but he does it all for the team, and he's such a team player. And since we've come in, obviously the top end of the pitch in Didsey and Dan, the goal contributions that they had, it's been very hard for him to get into the team, but he's always come off the bench. Every time he comes off the bench, he makes an impact, and he's got himself in the team now, and he's been absolutely outstanding in the last couple of games.
You mentioned Dan Crowley there. Obviously he's been struggling with a bit of illness, hasn't he? He came off the bench at Accrington. Is he fully fit now, would you say?
Yeah, he's fully fit. Obviously he's getting over it. Look, obviously energy levels could still be a little bit low, but he's getting over it, and like you say, he's another big player for us that away at Accrington that we couldn't select in the starting 11 because we've had to manage to make sure that we don't make it any worse.
Malta squad was announced recently. No Jody Jones in there. Are you able to explain the reason behind that?
Just family stuff, so that's why he's not involved.
Yeah, and Malta have obviously been quite compassionate towards that, I believe.
Yeah, really good. They've been excellent.
Great stuff. So he'll be available to us, throughout the international window.
Yep, he's available to us, yes.
Junior Marias, we haven't seen him for a while either.
Yeah, similar thing, family issues.
Okay, we'll monitor that situation. One man you won't be seen out there on Tuesday night, unfortunately, is Aidan Baldwin. He picked up his 10th yellow card, which is obviously very disappointing. 2-game suspension. What sort of a miss will he be?
Huge miss. We saw the miss at Crawley, but Cammy stepped up to the plate and played in the middle at Crawley and done really well. But it's just so frustrating that the booking that he gets from a goal kick, he's done the same all game. We're a possession-based football team, and if teams want to come and go man for man, him as the centre half with the goalie, he has to assess what passes he has on. We're not time wasting. It's 2-2. We want to go win the game of football. So it's very frustrating that he got the booking, because it was no longer than 20 seconds. So it's very frustrating. He's going to be a big miss, but he'll be back in 2 games.
One door closes, but another one opens, thankfully, for Scott Robertson, who comes back from suspension tomorrow night, hopefully.
Yeah, he'll be back from suspension, and he's probably been our most consistent player since we've been here, and he's improved and got better and better game by game. So look, it's a really big boost for us to have him back in the squad away at Bradford.
So it seems like you've got quite a few pieces of the jigsaw to try and shuffle around. There's some assessments to be made tomorrow in what your final squad will be, but in terms of the game itself, what are you expecting? Obviously Bradford, a bit of a wounded animal, having been beaten by Mansfield at the weekend. Yeah,
definitely, but I think Mansfield can do that to anyone. I think they're a team that come out the traps and get after you, and if they're clinical within them phases of play in the first 15 minutes, they can punish her, and that's how it was against Bradford. It wasn't probably the scoreline reflected when you watch the game back, the Bradford game back, that it was that type of game, but they were really clinical early on in the game, and look, it's going to be a tough test. We know that going there. We know what the pitch is like as well. We want to try and play with the ball on the ground. We know the pitch is going to be a difficult pitch, so we've got to be ready for that as well. We've got to make sure that we have different game plans within this game, because it's going to be a really tricky fixture.
There'll be another good Notts follow in there. 3rd away game in a row. It's a fantastic effort, really, isn't it?
Look, the fans have been incredible since I've been in charge, and I know it's been very difficult, but they've got behind the lads and backed them, and it means so much to them at Aki again. They got behind the lads from minute 1 all the way to the 95th minute, and at the end they clapped them off the pitch because they knew that they'd given everything for the football club. So look, me as a manager really appreciate all their support that they're giving, and also the players. It helps so much for them to back them that way that they have. So look, we just hope now that we can deliver a really positive result for them.
And it's one of our games in hand, isn't it? So it could be a very significant night in terms of the league table.
Definitely. Look, there's lots of points to play for. So at this stage of the season, I've talked about it's about building momentum. We've stopped the rot. We've picked a point up. I think we probably could have won the game in the end, with the goalie making a brilliant save. When you watch the game back, it's not that I thought that we probably deserved to win the game. I thought in the first half we were excellent, but I thought if the luck's gone our way, we win that game 3-2 and come away and go, that's a game that, were we at our best? No, but we probably nicked it at the end. So look, it's brought a bit of confidence again for the lads now. We've stopped the rot, and now we've got to back it up with another good performance and hopefully result.